Good evening, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Wednesday, and welcome to the WDW Radio Clubhouse. I am Lou Mangello. You, of course, are my friend, whether we have met yet or not. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, with us, and being part of the community and conversation, especially now. I know it is a busy time of year. There's a good chance you are getting ready for the holidays. Your kitchen, your floor, your basement, whatever is possibly a mess strewn with wrapping paper and presents, or you're going to go out tomorrow and remember that you need to go out and buy more presents. Anyway, I'm so excited for tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. This is our sort of yearly, annual, informal, virtual Christmas party together. I, of course, am wearing my Christmas sweater. I don't want to say it's an ugly Christmas sweater because it has Spider-Man on it, which is appropriate considering. I know I've received a number of messages from you about wanting to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home tonight. We're going to hold off just a little bit. One, because this is a holiday party, so we're going to do some holiday stuff, play some reindeer games, do a little bit of trivia. And I also know that not everybody has seen it as yet, so I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I will tell you, you need to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. That is the least spoilery way of saying you need to go. I've seen it 3 times so far. My son has seen it 5. He's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going tomorrow for his 5th time to go see it in 6 days. So it's that good. It is that good. And there will be a full podcast discussion about not just No Way Home, but where this ranks in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the Spider-Verse, as it were. And maybe really in all of movie history, because it really is that good. But I don't want to go down the Spider-Man path. And just like Hawkeye, we're not going to talk about Hawkeye. I will say that we had our nation call, WDW Radio Nation call on Monday, thanks to all of you who are members of the nation who joined in that call. And at some point, I could tell like the tea water was boiling and we had to sort of get it out about sort of No Way Home. So I said, look, if you haven't seen it yet, I need to kindly ask you to vacate the premises because we need to have this very cathartic release about No Way Home. I see a lot of people using the same terminology. It's amazing. Pun or no pun intended. It without a doubt. Dora says, I loved it. It is such a great movie. It's amazing. Wow. Yeah, I know. Jeremy saw the new Matrix. Thumbs down. It's a long time to do a 4th in that trilogy. It could have just ended with 1. Anyway, it doesn't. Listen, I don't want to go down the movie path. We're going to save that for maybe, you know what? Oh, I can't do it tomorrow. Maybe next week we'll do a Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler-filled conversation and discussion. Yeah, Mary, I've seen it 3 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. It really is that good, and I can't wait to see it again. And I'm not saying it's that good because I'm clearly a Spider-Man fan, but it's that really good of a movie, and it just sort of hits at every level. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. So what I thought we would do tonight, Isabel says, Happy Christmas from the UK. I love the fact, I like Happy Christmas. There's something about just that terminology as opposed to Merry that I really like. Like, have a happy Christmas. We need a little bit more happy in our Christmases too. Happy Festivus Eve. The airing of grievances, really, for us, the airing of grievances really happens all year round because we're Italian, and that's sort of what we do. But for those of you who celebrate Happy Festivus, I believe Becky Menken said she was going out to get her aluminum pole today. So speaking of the holidays and speaking of festive things to do, I thought it would be fun, as if we were together in the same house, in the same room. I thought it would be fun to just sort of do a little non-lightning roundish lightning round of Christmas-related questions that I will ask and I will answer because it's only fair, and I'll look for your answers as well. I thought about doing this on a Zoom call, but 140 some odd people in a Zoom call would probably not be all that efficient or manageable. So we're going to do it this way. We're just going to have some fun asking and answering some questions, and then we're going to do a little Christmas trivia because I'm going back to my roots in many ways as I look up at the whiteboard. Anyway, I digress. So I've written about 100 and some odd questions over the last couple of days getting ready for tonight. Just some fun reindeer games, Christmas-related questions, and then we'll get into some trivia. And the only prize that you're going to receive is the warm and fuzzies and knowing that you have the admiration of me and all of your friends here in the room. By the way, if you're watching live and you haven't done it already, sit back, relax, grab a snack. I brought Christmas cookies and I brought Christmas tea in my very merry time Disney Cruise Line, which, by the way, speaking of which, I cannot wait to be on a very merry time cruise next year on the Disney Wish, also digressing, and tag and invite a friend to join us because I do think the more, the merrier. And for those of you in the UK, the happier as well. So let's, I have no rhyme or reason to the order of the questions. I think so much about Christmas, though, is fortunately or unfortunately about the gift giving. And I am very much like my dad. I prefer to give than to receive. Like receiving gifts, for those of you who are very close to me know, it makes me uncomfortable and awkward, and I'm really bad at it. So I do prefer to give rather than receive. And so I want to know, what is the best, and when I use Christmas, please understand, I'll call it a Christmas gift. I mean Hanukkah presents, Kwanzaa gift, Festivus, miracle, whatever it is that you celebrate, even if it's just the spirit of the season, I'm using Christmas as an all-encompassing term. We cool? Cool. So what is the best Christmas gift or sort of gift success story that you ever have? This thing that you couldn't wait to do or give or surprise, or, like, what is your Turbo Man? What was the thing that or your Cabbage Patch doll that you were able to secure? I have two. There were two that very quick. I'll have to put on my glasses. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to see your story, see your responses. I have two. So when what's the over under before I cry tonight? 7 minutes. I'm going to go with the under on that. So lay your bets with the Vegas odds. 7 minutes before I start crying. It might even be 4. So I have two things that came to mind and are both around my children. When my daughter was younger, God, I mean, it's got to be, she's 18 now. Maybe it's 8-10 years ago. She desperately wanted a phone, and I only wanted to give my kids phones so I could be the overprotective parent and know where they were at all times and let them get in touch with me. So she desperately wanted a phone, and so what I did was I wrapped this huge package that she sort of, it was like a Russian nesting doll, package within a package within a package. So she got to the small package. She opens it up. It's an iPhone box. She loses her adorable little PJ wearing marbles, and she opens it up, the box, and inside there's socks. And I thought it was hysterical. 8, 9, 10-year-old Marion, not so much. The poor disappointment on her face. I mean, obviously I didn't let it last too very long. I mean, 3 hours later, I actually brought out the phone. No, 10 seconds later, I brought out the phone, and she laughed, and it was hysterical. And I just loved that emotional roller coaster that she went on, and then the tear-laden joy that was on her face when she got the thing that she wanted. And then last year, my son desperately wanted a PS5, along with, I believe, what was the number? About 93% of the Earth population wanted a PS5. I went everywhere. I tried everything. I was lining up at midnight at stores. I literally went to Walmart one night at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I drove a half hour to Walmart. I was the seventh person in line, and they said they had six. No, they had five. So me and the person in front of me didn't get it. And then, like an angel from heaven, a friend of mine, actually one of my coaching clients, was somehow able to get his hands on a second one and said, "Would you like it?" And did not absolutely go crazy. He charged me what he paid for it, which was the very human, nice thing to do. And my son was convinced he wasn't going to get it. And I kept on telling him weeks up to him, like, "Nick, I'm trying. I can't make the miracle happen." He's like, "Dad, don't get like suckered in by these people on eBay. Don't overpay." Like he was so generous in his concern, like, don't overpay for it. Don't end up buying like a box of rocks and you're not going to end up getting. And I don't know, like I gave him something else and like we thought that it was all over. And I said, "Oh," I said, "Wait, there's one more present that was in here. I don't know." I said, "Nicholas, open this up because there's nobody's name is on it. And I'm not sure like who brought this or who it was for." I have it on video. I have both of those kids' reactions on video. The melting brains falling out of his head when he got to the inside and like, "How did you do this? How did you make it happen?" It was a Christmas miracle, and it was it was like the greatest like my dad was giving me a high five from heaven because he probably was like, "You were able to pull it off, not just getting the gift, but being able to surprise him." The Red Ryder BB gun hiding behind the desk, says Katie McNamara. It's like pulling the Buzz Lightyear from the closet. It was my dad did that. My dad, I remember, you're all too young to remember when Cabbage Patch dolls came out. He had a friend who worked for, I don't remember the company's name. Was it Coleco? Might have been Coleco. And I'll never forget. I grew up in a big old Victorian house, and there was a closet at the top of the stairs. I remember he and I went into the closet one day, and he had like 10 of them, and his friend was able. And so when Christmas came, my dad was the same way. We always had a lot of people at our house. He gave. Now I'm gonna cry. See, he gave every girl, adult girls, young girls. He gave every one of them a Cabbage Patch doll. The reaction of everybody in that room. My dad literally and figuratively was Santa. So I once made a pastel drawing of Belle and the Beast from the ballroom scene for a girlfriend. I took my parents on the Magic one year in February, says Beth. That is a nice gift right there. Got my mom the Joe Rohde Mickey ears for Christmas last year, and then she very quickly, hopefully, put them up on eBay because I remember what they were going for as they were going up. Yeah, Brian Donovan, it was Coleco. Yeah, I thought it was Coleco. Remember ColecoVision? I won't even go down. I was a big video game kid, so 1996 got Joseph his Buzz Lightyear. We did scavenger hunts for the kids to find out about their trip to Disney. A friend of mine I'm not sure if Angela's actually in here tonight, gave her kids a surprise trip to Disney today, which I absolutely loved. What about your biggest, let's sort of flip it. What was your biggest Christmas fail, right? Your biggest Christmas gift, like shipping, shopping, or gifting fail? I was trying to think about this. Like, I think one year I gave my brother, I was so excited. I gave my brother the same gift that I gave him the year before. My brother is a nerd just like me. And he too was so genuine and so gracious and grateful. He's like, "Oh my God, I love this." And I was like, "I knew you would. Like, I knew you would love this." He goes, "I know. It's going to look great next to the other one that you gave me from last year." I was so embarrassed, but I was like, he knew it came from such a genuine place because I knew he would love this thing. He's a Marvel comic book nerdy guy. I don't remember exactly what the item was. And yes, don't worry, I returned it and got him something else instead. I'm trying not to do that this year. Like I was thinking like, okay, and now I'm like having to check with my kids. Did I get him? I don't want to say it just in case he's watching, but let's see. my dad gave us all mini Swiss Army knives one year. We were all like, "What the heck?" Listen, those come in handy. It's got the little corkscrew on it, the little toothpick and tweezers. I gave a coworker an ashless ash tray. You're trying to trick me into saying something I don't want to say. Joseph wanted an iPod type thing, and I bought it on Amazon, but it was obsolete. When you say iPod type thing, you know you're already heading for disaster. We'll be returning tomorrow for the holiday weekend. I know, Katie, I'm really nervous that there's one thing that I bought him this year. My brother's a huge Lego fan. And Fred, if you're watching, tune away. And I was able to secure one this year, and I'm like, wait a minute, did I get that? Was this even out last year? So I don't think so. My brother dropped my grease roll, so I'm even. I've spoken to my brother at length about grease. He knows exactly. Jim says a smokeless. I knew what you meant. The smokeless ashtrays. Which is funny when you said that. I remember as a kid growing up in Plainfield, New Jersey, having a lot of people at my house, and there being ashtrays everywhere. Remember when everybody smoked everywhere? Like in the hospital, the doctor's coming out, like lighting one up, telling you, yeah, Mrs. Mangello, you have it. But there was ashtrays everywhere. And if you grew up in the 70s like I did, you'll probably remember what some of those big pedestal ashtrays or ceramic and very 70s looking ashtrays look like, and probably had them all around the house. All right. What is the best gift that you have ever received? What is the best Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday gift present that you have ever received? Whether it is something that you were looking forward to getting, whether it was a complete surprise, what is the story behind, excuse me, if you're to close your eyes and say, what is the best gift I ever received? What would that thing be? Everything in pottery class turned into an ashtray. Right? What do kids make now? I guess you can't make ashtrays anymore. What are kids making in pottery class? Anchor hocking ashtrays in my mom and dad's house. Yeah, and when I cleaned out my mom's house, I actually found a box of some old ones that she still had in storage, and it smelled like 1970s cigarette smoke. My wife got me an original Disneyland map framed, and I couldn't believe it, hanging in my Ryan. That's cool, man. You gotta post a picture of that in the clubhouse, because that would be super cool. Cabbage Patch Kids. I do remember Children's Place. My husband proposed 3 days before Christmas, and being married to him has been the greatest gift. Dolly, that is so sweet. And oh no, I'm only kidding. It's so funny because I remember. So you may or may not know, I was not disbarred. I chose not to be a lawyer, but I used to be a lawyer, and I'll never forget. In school, it was my contracts teacher who's like, gentlemen, pay very close attention. This important life lesson. He said, you never, ever you never propose on Christmas or Valentine's Day, Arbor Day, New Year. You don't propose on a holiday. And we're like, why? Now, mind you, this is contracts class, so he's thinking like a lawyer. He says, because if it doesn't work out, you're able to get the ring back, because an engagement ring is a gift given in contemplation of marriage. But if you give it on a holiday like Valentine's Day or Christmas, she could say, well, no, it wasn't an engagement ring. It was a Christmas gift. Keep it and then sell it and hawk the diamond and take her new boyfriend to Aruba. I'm not saying that happened to me, but I'm saying that is a story that I remember, obviously vividly, from law school. My grandmother gave me the Fisher-Price castle. Beth, do you remember the Fisher-Price garage? Like and you had a little thing and it sort of came up. I'm in a very, very weird, very sentimental, nostalgic state in my life right now, where I'm very much focused on like things that I remember and grew up with in especially like the early 70s. So I was born in 68. This is no surprise. It's no secret. So I was really a child of the 70s as much as I was of the 80s. And finding and seeing those things that are rekindling like old memories is really like, it's just sort of really sort of like a little side journey that I have been on. When I was a kid, I had the inflatable Star Wars lightsaber. Loved that thing. Jeff C., did you also beat your siblings about the face and head like my brother and I did with each other? And Brian Hatfield, wherever you are, would come over and we would all have these blow up lightsabers and sort of homemade lightsabers and just beat each other completely senseless with it, which would explain a lot. A photo album full of old pictures from my childhood from my mom. I forgot about that. David, it's so funny you said that. I've been scanning. I scanned probably 3,000 pictures after my mom passed. Just late at night, I would just sit there and I was just using my phone and scanning them. And I actually came across another bucket that was filled with old 8mm videos. And I think there was about 2,500 slides. Remember the slide carousels? And I think there was like 5 or 6 that were from Walt Disney World in 71 to like 74. So I sent them off to be digitized. I should have them back in January. I cannot wait to see and share. Actually, I shared the other night, if you were on the Nation Call, I shared a picture of me in November of 71. You've seen the one of me sitting on Main Street. I have my very first picture with Mickey Mouse standing outside the train station. I'm going to post that tomorrow. Somebody please remind me. I'm going to ask you. So tonight, go find your first ever photo in Walt Disney World. We'll sort of share our first photos in Walt Disney World. Tamagotchi, I got a Disneyland sign. When I got the Game Boy, it was a big deal. Those ashtrays are worth a lot of money right now. Oh, why don't I give them to Goodwill? Is your family like ours? You're just as surprised as the kids when they open each present. Katie, quite often I am. Because usually right about now, the conversation starts to happen like, what did you get for the kids? I don't know. What did you get? I don't know. I wrapped them and I sort of forgot. And now I'm like going through my Amazon thing. And then there's like boxes I have and I don't know what's in them. And I'm not sure what kid it's for. We'll see. So it is. Christmas is going to be a surprise for everybody. Left clues behind to indicate that she was pregnant. James, that is super cool. A lot of memories about having children. The Weeble Wobble Treehouse. They weeble, they wobble, but they don't fall down. Desperately as we may have tried, we could not let them to fall down. Chandler, welcome. Don't worry about being late. We're just having some fun, playing a little reindeer games, asking some questions, telling some stories about Christmas memories. So I just asked, what was the best gift that? Quick question: are there any children in the room? You know what? The best gift I ever received was when I found out that my dad was friends with Santa. It was this amazing, like, revelation that it didn't spoil it for me. It made all the memories I had of Christmases even more special. And then it was something like I was like, oh, I want to be an elf. Like, I want to help Santa too. What's the worst gift? What is the worst gift? And I know that there's no bad gifts, but there's bad gifts. Let's be honest. We're all friends here. What is the worst gift that you, by the way, Jerry Johnson, I had the $6 Million Man doll where you could look through his eye and it had the little crosshair and then his little bionic arm thing. I feel sorry for the kids that got Oscar Goldman for Christmas. Like, oh, I got Oscar. He's got a suede jacket and a briefcase. Like, that was his superpower, was a briefcase. What's the worst gift that you ever received? Paulette Gordon Denoto, I was literally thinking about you today. Thinking about you and Sam and your matzo ball soup. Not necessarily in that order, but all of them collectively. I cannot wait to see you, hopefully very, very soon. You can just leave Lisa home. Me, you, and Sam will go out. We'll have a wonderful time. Kyle always got the Hess trucks. Kyle, I remember I used to get, my mom used to get those for me when I was a kid. And one year I was putting them out in a garage sale and everybody was like freaking out. Like, they were like still sitting in their boxes. And I was like, no, you don't want to give those away. You want to hang on to those because they are collectibles. So Um, so Allison says Atari. I'm hoping that you're still talking about the best gift that you ever received. Oscar's worth good money now, says Melanie Jones. I've looked for, as much as I'm trying to purge, right, and minimize and whatnot, I looked for a really good Steve Austin, A Man Barely Alive, and yet I have not been able to find one at a reasonable price. Not that I would buy it, but I just like my Mego, I love the Mego action figures. Somebody stole my Spider-Man. I had a Spider-Man, my original Spider-Man Mego action figure. If you're a kid of the 70s, you know it. It's MEGO. Go look it up. You may have seen those before. I had all of them. I had the Marvel ones. I had the DC ones. And I had a Spider-Man that was still mint on the card. And when I moved here, I'm convinced somebody stole it because I've taken my garage apart as well as every closet in the house. Because I remember showing it, like, I remember taking it out one year and showing it to people, like, because it was worth, a nice amount of money, but it was worth more, like, for sentimental value, and something I wanted to pass along to my son, and it seems to have gotten legs. But I will tell you, the worst gift, Grandma knew I was a nerd, gave me a t-shirt with the bald lady from Star Trek, the motion picture on it. Persis Kambata played Aaliyah from Star Trek, the motion picture, with V'ger, which, spoiler alert, we found out was Voyager. A knockoff Yankee Candle. Don't look for Bill for Mego Spidey. I know. I don't want to even look, especially now. So, Uncle Dom, forgive me, but we all have an eccentric uncle, and he was the most wonderful, like, loving man in the world, but he was a little, eclectic and eccentric. And he was a neurosurgeon, but he was also like a dress designer when he was younger. You don't need to go to the whole backstory. And sometimes he had some interesting fashion sense. And one year, listen, as a kid, you get that flat rectangular box. You're like, there's clothes inside. And it's a huge bummer because you're like 8 and you shake it and you're like, no, yeah, this is going to be closed. And you rip off the wrapping paper and it's like Bloomingdale's or Sears or Alexander's, for those of you who grew up in the Northeast. And I can see it like it was yesterday, like in slow motion. I pull off the lid of this box and inside there is a bright purple set of thick corduroy pants. Like, I don't mean like a subtle, like, wine colored purple. I mean like bright colored purple. Like, the kids would be lining up to throw me in lockers. Not just the same 4 or 5 guys that did every week, but everybody in school would line up to throw me in a locker if I would have. And I open them out. He goes, Lewis, are these not magnificent? Those are magnificent pants. Slacks. I got you some slacks. It was awful. I never wore them. I'm sorry. I think Goodwill actually sent them back. They're like, whoa, we have standards. We can't take those. But so, Uncle Dom, I apologize, but I would have preferred socks and underwear than I would have preferred socks and underwear to the purple corduroys wherever, excuse me, wherever you are. A karaoke machine. It only had one song, "The Wind Beneath My Wings," says JT Mass. As an Eagles fan, my dad bought me a Tony Romo Cowboys jersey as a joke. Well, listen, if you were an Eagles fan or a Cowboys fan, you should have just gotten a Giants jersey and been done with it. There is no picture anywhere. There is no picture anywhere because, and I remember he would ask me, like, or my mother would be like, you're going to see your uncle. And we lived one house away from each other. So my house was here. We shared a driveway with the second house, and my uncle was in the one house over. So we saw them like a lot. It wasn't just on holidays where I could sort of like bob and weave and dodge and move, because he'd come over and be like, so where's the slacks? Where are your quarter? Whatever. It doesn't matter. All right. What is your favorite one? What is your one? I'll give this a softball question. What is your favorite Christmas song and why? What is your favorite Christmas song? I thought about this one long and hard because there are some songs that just put a smile on my face. Um, there are some that will instantly bring a tear to my eye. I know, menopause. You want to see a grown man cry, come with me, or just play the song in my car. Play the music for Candlelight Processional. Because there's a couple, woof, man, joyful noise, get me a tissue. I think Carol of the Bells, sung by a youth massed choir, is like the one in Home Alone, is just absolutely beautiful. I love, love, love hearing children's choir. Um, Chestnuts Roasted, Oh Holy Night. I love that. Something by Bing Crosby. I am a classic Christmas guy. The Waitress song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I dig that as well. Oh Holy Night. I do. I agree. Does this Christmas from The Nightmare Before Christmas count? Anything counts if it's your Christmas song, right? That's the beautiful thing about this time of year. Like whatever your tradition is, whatever your things are, it doesn't really matter. There's something stuck up in the. I don't think I've ever heard that one before. Katie McNamara. It's a hard question. It is a hard question, and you have to think like, do I want to hear something that is going to be uplifting and put a smile on my face, or do I want to hear something that is going to remind me of my childhood? Is going to put a little tear in my. I mean, like I said, there's times I'm in my car, and if I put the right couple of songs on, it's all, and I'm sitting all going, what is wrong with me? Like I'm sitting here crying by myself for Christmas music, but that's, that's some of the Star Spangled Banner sung by Aunt Bethany at the end of Christmas Vacation. Play ball. Christmas time is here. Jamie Kersey, I agree. Also known as the Peanuts Christmas song. Feliz Navidad, Christmas in Sarajevo will always be Osborne Lights. The Mannheim Steamroller songs from the Mannheim Steamroller Carol of the Bells from Osborne Lights was one that I loved. Dominic the Donkey. Yeah, I do. I very much am I'm a classic Christmas. And when I the now rare occasions when I have my kids in the car, that's what I play. Like I know my daughter likes the newer stuff, but I want them to hear and at least be familiar with some of the older classic songs as well. Christmas Eve in Sarajevo, Sarajevo, White Christmas, Hark the Herald, Oh Holy Night, Little Drummer Boy, Do They Know It's Christmas, Gina Flacco. Like, remember that one? Remember that one that first came out and just, because that was in the time when it was USA for Africa and Live Aid and Hands Across America and all these sort of, which was wonderful. We need a little bit more of that, like people coming together to make a difference in a cause and also making some beautiful music along the way. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I like sort of the older classics versions of that, but it is one of my favorite songs. I also really, really love Burl Ives' Holly Jolly Christmas. Like there's something about that just puts a very little happy. David Hemcourt, if I hear Ave Maria sung in church, especially during this time of year, I'm a goner. I am a goner. A few years ago, I remember hearing, and there was a young kid with this just beautiful, booming, majestic voice when she sang Ave Maria. I mean, she was gifted with a talent, and I was a mess. I was a mess. Like I've never felt like standing up and just like applauding in church, but that's what I wanted to do. So, all right. So let's have some fun. Okay, wait. Because let me check. I am Lou Mangello. We haven't talked about food yet. What is your favorite holiday dish? Your favorite or traditional holiday dish? What is the thing that you look forward to making or eating or having somebody bring over? What is the thing that you look forward to making or sharing with others? So Me, it's always been a tradition in my family because we are Italian and we are Catholic. Um, on Christmas Eve, we have what's called the Feast of the Seven Fishes. So, um, without going too far down, um, you're not supposed to eat meat on Christmas Eve. So, we have a feast of seven fishes, like seven courses of all different fish. Like there's a different types of um, there's like a salad, and then a number of different courses. But then, so one of my favorite things, a favorite tradition, because I always had a big family, so we open up presents on Christmas Eve. We always have, right? Santa comes on Christmas Eve, and we would literally, the kids would go to bed. Santa would come around midnight. Sometimes we would push it back a little earlier because there was a lot of kids at some point when I was younger. Um, Santa Claus would come at midnight, and everybody would get their turn going up to Santa, getting and opening up their presents. Like nobody was sort of, if you were the last one, so we would go in reverse order. We'd go by age. Youngest would go first, oldest kid would go last. So by the time we were done, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like we haven't eaten in 2 hours, right? And because we're Italian, everybody's having coffee at 11 o'clock at night, so you're wide awake. And so after midnight, what we would do is we would get these sausages, and there's Italian sausage that comes. It's thin. It's a very thin um, Italian sausage that comes in a ring. So it's like this giant like ring of Italian sausage, and we would get like 30 of them, and we would, especially like when we were up in Jersey, we would go outside. We put them out on the grill with like delicious crusty Italian bread, and it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There's presents and wrapping paper and like overtired kids everywhere, and it was the best. It was the best part of Christmas. It was the best part of Christmas. Everybody had their presents. Everybody's like having a good time. The family's all together, and there's Italian sausage. And it was great. It was great, and we still do that. Like my brother's coming over for Christmas, and we still do Italian sausage. I also remember, and one of the things I very much miss from my mom is she used to make stuffed artichokes on Christmas Eve. These huge stuffed artichokes with breadcrumbs and garlic that just sort of fell apart and were just amazing. And then when you finally got down, like you earned getting down to the heart of the artichoke, and it was just soft and sweet and garlicky. We still make them, but if you know, you know, like nothing's like your mom's. So I I miss I don't miss the cold fish salad thing. I was never a huge fan of that, but the stuffed artichokes, yeah, I miss those. Kielbasa, yes, a Long Island care package. I would love it. My wife's stuffing. Jeremy Goff, what time should I be here? My grandmother's sausage and peppers. Oh, I dig. So Derek says, go. It's funny because I have a question like that. Like, who does like sort of a non-traditional Christmas Eve? Like, I know some people like Christmas Eve, they go to the movies, or Christmas Eve, they go out for Chinese food. That is their tradition, whether it's because they celebrate on Christmas Day, they don't celebrate at all. They know the restaurants won't be very crowded. So I dig that. I dig that. I know a number of people who Chinese food is their thing. Kevin Shea, the homemade Italian tortellini soup, that's a Christmas Day thing. The tortellini soup with the little meatballs and the carrots. Brajol, macaroni salad with tuna mixed in. Brian Donovan, that sounds really good. Lutefisk and lefse. So, not a huge fan of lutefisk. Huge fan of the lefse. I love me some lefse. It's my favorite thing to get in the bakery in Norway. I know everybody goes for school bread. This guy, give me a cup of lefse, a cup of coffee, or a little cup of tea. That's a nice day right there. My mom's homemade capelletti every Christmas. Strawberry jello thing with the pretzel bottom crust and cream cheese top. I've never heard of that. I'm trying to like mouth feel what that would be. That sounds really fascinating. My grandmother's spinach pie. Oh my God. You just brought my grandmother and my aunt who passed not too long ago. They were God, I haven't had spinach pie. And each one made it differently. And they lived together. So my grandmother lived in Brooklyn, and they had a two-family. So my grandmother lived downstairs, my aunt lived upstairs, and they would each make spinach pie, and they were both a little different. Oh my God, I have this sentimental taste in my mouth for my grandmothers and my aunts. They were both equally good. I mean, I liked one better, but I'm not going to say. Not that it matters now. But yeah, Brian Dennis, lobster pie. I don't know what lobster pie is, but those are two words that are just so magically beautiful together. Lobster and pie. My mother-in-law's spaghetti. Cam, when you say my mother-in-law's spaghetti, that's a nice way to earn points. Very, very smart. Christmas Eve is pizza delivered, right? See, so some people, again, whether it's because of the way you celebrate, or you just don't want to cook, or it's not your thing, or Christmas Day. For some people I know, Christmas Eve isn't really like a thing, because Christmas Day is when they celebrate. She has old clamshells that you wash or use every year. You take breadcrumbs, chopped clams. I wish I knew how to cook. Tatiana Walton says we have taco salad, all red and green on Christmas Eve. Kate says we make potato salad. Paul says our family's Lithuanian. We always had fried smelts for Christmas Eve. I don't like them. I would choke on the bones. Yeah, some of these things, some of the family food traditions, we don't necessarily love them, but it's important that we carry those traditions on. It's always enhanced by Jell-O, even if it's Aunt Bethany's Jell-O from Christmas Vacation, where she put a little cat food in there too. God, I can't believe I haven't thought about spinach pie in, it's got to be 25, 30 years. Sloppy Joe's, says Wendy, is usually Christmas Eve meal. God, I haven't had a good Sloppy Joe or a manwich since I was a little kid. Prime rib at Gorgonzola sauce. I'm famished, by the way. Christmas fajitas. Again, two words. Actually, that's not true. A couple of years ago, a lot of my family came down and we celebrated Christmas together. And it was Christmas Day, I think. We went out. One year we went, I think was it Christmas or New Year's? Like the only place we could get a reservation was Paradiso 37, which, it was sort of a break in tradition, but we were all together. And I'm sure, as some of the older people start to pass on, we become sort of the patriarchs and matriarchs of the family. And we now all of a sudden are the ones who are, pulling family together. And that was the only place we were able to go. We did do Boathouse one year. We did do Boathouse one year for Christmas Day. I think we did Christmas. Was it Christmas Day we did it? I don't know. It's been years. But Lisa Donato Glasser says Christmas Eve is Boma. We used to do sushi on Christmas Day. It was a tradition for a time. So, William, we've sometimes in the past had friends over for Christmas Day. And it was sort of everybody bring something. And I don't remember. I think it was Michael would come over and bring a big thing. Michael or Tony would bring over a big thing of sushi, in addition to all the other seafood that we had throughout the day. Oblatka, what is it? Oblatka, the Catholic wafers that you break up and pass around and eat with honey. So Tina, I'm Catholic. I've never heard them called that, and I've never known that you can eat them that way. I have to learn more. I'm incredibly intrigued. We always have a port wine and cheese ball. Jeff, I remember those as a kid too. I did not like them. Now, as I'm older, I'm all about the cheese. Michael Tello, you get it, man. The stuffed artichokes, so good. Jennifer Subco's doing ribs this year, something new. Jennifer, go. Are you getting like some Mickelbaum's ribs, bringing it, or are you making them yourself with maybe a little Mickelbaum's rib sauce? One of the things I very much miss about Naples was Mickelbaum's ribs. Boathouse filet sliders sound amazing. So, Deborah, I realized tonight, of course, that I have to go to, God help us and save us, I have to go to Disney Springs tomorrow morning. And I'm like, I'm going to go there at 10, in and out, like, done. Let me get in and out of here and get the thing and go. And then I'm like, I am there. Like, maybe I should just grab lunch. Like, my daughter's going to be with her friends. My son's going to be with his friends. I could grab a little nosh. I mean, the filet sliders are right there. I should wish the Boathouse people a very Merry Christmas. So we'll see. Maybe, yeah. We'll see. Tony brings the sushi, right? Michael actually cooks. Tony brings the Tony does bring the sushi. Lobster Christmas Eve, ham on Christmas Day. Yeah, same thing. We don't do meat on Christmas Eve. Yeah, we could just talk about we could talk about it all day. But is Christmas for you? I was just talking with one of my friends who's been a coaching client, a mastermind group client for years. Is spending Christmas on the Disney Dream? I don't know. He's driving to Galveston. No, I'm sorry. He's driving to Port Canaveral on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve and spending Christmas on a Disney cruise. And I'm like, would you rather spend Christmas in Walt Disney World or on a cruise, on a Disney cruise? Where would you rather spend Christmas, on a Disney cruise or in Walt Disney World? Bouche de Noël, but it has to be made correctly. I don't even know what it is, Amanda, but I'm intrigued. And I forgive me for pronouncing that, I'm sure, incredibly incorrectly, but just booked our first meal at the Boathouse. What is your favorite thing on the menu? Cam, that could be a show unto itself. You got to get a seafood tower, get the crab and avocado, get the tuna and avocado, get the coriander seared tuna, the filet sliders, but tell them that you want grilled onions on top. You can also get you can get the mac and cheese, but you might want to upgrade to the lobster mac and cheese. The tacos are also really good. The steaks are incredible. Maybe I do have to stop at Boathouse just to wish them a very Merry Christmas tomorrow. Cruise, and more specifically Serenity Bay. I think I would pick a hotel. I'd rather spend Christmas in Walt Disney World. I've done Easter at Walt Disney World. Would love to do Christmas. It's a Yule log cake. That I know. Why didn't you say a Yule log cake? A Yule log cake is just a giant yodel. Right? Remember, like the it wasn't Tasty Cake. Was it Tasty Cake? Hostess. Like the Hostess devil dogs and yodels, and that's what sort of a Yule log cake is, isn't it? It's like a giant version. Get the the holiday old fashioned at the Boathouse. Didn't you have that when we went? That's right. After Momentum, the memory just came back when we went after Momentum. A group of us went there. Was it after Momentum? Before Momentum? Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice night. It's not. Amanda, maybe you should send me one so I can taste it live on the air and find out exactly what it is. Would you rather have, and I think this might depend on where you live, would you rather have a white Christmas or a warm Christmas? Right? So I love, because now I miss it to a certain, I love the idea of a white Christmas. I love the Christmas morning, which starts on Christmas Eve, but you wake up Christmas morning and there's nobody out on the road. And you look out the window and the streets are covered and it's quiet. There's I call it sort of that Christmas or that winter quiet when you open the door and it's just silent and you can almost hear the sound of the snowfalls touching the ground. There's something about that I miss until I have to go drive in it. And then you're sliding all over the place and there's black ice and everybody up there is so angry. And I'm like, I'll take the warm Christmas. I want my Christmas to be like 55 degrees, sweatshirt weather, right? I can finally, because this is the one and only day I'm ever going to be able to wear this because it's Florida. It's great. My kids get to see snow in Texas or up in Kansas. I'm over the snow. I love snow mornings. I know a lot of people, I myself have family up north that says it hasn't snowed on Christmas in years. And as a kid, it always seemed to be a white Christmas. I'd rather have a beach to walk on Christmas morning. I've never actually done it, Crystal, but I think that there will be something, my dream has always been to eventually have a house that's on the beach and to be able to wake up with that sort of, although I think I'd rather be on the Gulf Coast, so I would rather have sunset on the beach. But even sort of that early morning, there's something about that early morning on a beach, especially when it's cold, you go out there in a sweatshirt, and to be able to do it on Christmas Day, I think would be really nice too. But there's a little part of me that misses seeing the snow um, one more time, as long as I don't have to shovel it. I want to just see it out the window and then not necessarily have to drive in it. All right, we talked about your favorite Christmas. We talked about your favorite Christmas song. I'm going to ask you another impossible question. What is your one favorite Christmas movie, and why? This too is a tough one. Do you go with the majesty and the beauty of It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street? Do you modernize it with something funny like Elf or Home Alone? Do you mix the classic Dickens Carol, Christmas Carol, with a whole lot of funny Muppets? Like Muppet Christmas Carol is in that I think it's the best telling of A Christmas Carol. Not just because of the Muppets, but because of Michael Caine gives such a serious, beautiful, and brilliant performance. I knew I was going to get things like this. Iron Man 3, Die Hard, Spider-Man No Way Home is a Christmas movie. Fight me on it. Spider-Man No Way Home is a Christmas movie. Nightmare Before Christmas, because Gonzo and Rizzo might light the lamp, not the rat. White Christmas, I hear a lot of people mentioning White Christmas. A lot of Die Hards in there as well. I mean, Die Hard's not the first thing I pull up for Christmas. Muppet Christmas Carol. Yeah, Cam, I agree. He's the best Scrooge. He is without a doubt. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, I still have on DVD downstairs. I remember watching that with my brother as a kid, like over and over and over again. It's a Wonderful Life because it shows it's important. A Christmas Story. Die Hard, totally kidding. I love the Santa Claus Amber Bramble grew on me over time. And now I like that trilogy. I like each of them for different reasons. Not just because Scott Calvin's wife was one of my favorite characters in Lost, but it helps. And then for the third one, you've got Martin Short as Jack Frost. So I do like that trilogy, knowing that I think the first one is obviously when he's in the gymnasium at the school and he brings out those nostalgic presents for the teachers. Guess what happens? Is it A, I cry? Is it B, I weep? Or is it C, I sob? If it's D, all the above, you get a prize, because that's exactly. Scrooge with Bill Murray. Again, a little bit of a dark, different take. But I think it's also a great performance by Bill Murray. A Year Without a Santa Claus, Heat Miser or Snow Miser? Which one? Snow Miser's my guy. I want to sing the song so bad because now I hear dun 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 dun, like it's just playing in my mind and it's never going to go away. So I need to fire that up when we're done. White Christmas, Christmas Vacation, Elf, Milker on 34th Street, The Santa Claus, Emmett Otter's, Trading Places. I agree. Darren Boyne is in fact it is a Christmas movie. Holiday Inn, Brian Dennis, Amanda, a couple of holidays in coming in. The Grinch. And it's interesting. I have some trivia questions coming up, and we'll talk about some of these movies. And by the way, I have to bug out of here at 9:20 because for some reason, somehow I committed to doing somebody else's show. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but if you go, when we're done here, it's called The Magical Lifestyle, and it's on the YouTubes. So I'm going to jump from here and jump over there if you want to come over. Let's just sort of pick up the party and go to somebody else's YouTube channel with it. Home Alone, Jonathan Dickens. I agree. Home Alone's a really, really good Christmas movie. Yeah, Deborah Mickens, it's absolutely D. Heat Miser, The Grinch, The Scrooge with Albert Finney, Karen Tabier, also a really good one. I Have Four Boys, so Home Alone is always. Didn't Disney Plus just reboot Home Alone? Like it's Homer Alone or something, like Home Alone, the Resurrected. Well, it's called something. Like there's another new Home Alone in there as well. do you, well, we talked about that. I was thinking about like traditions that we had when we were kids that we don't do anymore. And I think there's so many like of the important ones I think that we carry on, seven fishes and things like that, and opening presents on Christmas Eve and just a few subtle things like that. One of the things I remember as a kid that we don't do anymore, this is going to show how old I am. Raise your hand, throw up some hearts, do whatever. Who remembers putting tinsel on the tree? Putting silver tinsel. So it came in these long, thin boxes. I remember my dad giving like a handful, and like you can't clump it. Like Lou, pull them. You have to pull them and separate them. And they were supposed to look like icicles, but it looked like, tinfoil on the tree. But I remember every year, and if you had a fake tree, man, then you were really in trouble. Why? Because you had to take all the tinsel off before you put the tree away. That's why I'm like, dude, please, can we just get like a real tree so we can just like throw it away? Right? So a lot of you still do. Like, I didn't even know like if tinsel was still like was a thing. I'm like, it's probably a fire hazard. They probably don't even make it anymore. I remember one of my, not like a close relative, had like it was like an aluminum tree. It literally was like the precursor to the Festivus pole because it was this like silver aluminum tree. Clearly an electrical and fire hazard, I'm sure, but a lot of you say that your parents still put it on. I haven't even seen it. That's why I just figured it wasn't around anymore. I've never even seen it the cats would eat the tinsel and it would be festive tinsel's the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, it's so funny. I don't, so Angela, I have Christmas cookies and I ate the ones that you sent before you got here. Angela sent me this wonderful box of Christmas treats, including these. I've never had these before. These like Portuguese Christmas cookies that, according to her, it's okay that I had with breakfast, dipping them in my coffee because they were so very good. But I've already eaten them, so that's so cool. Now I've got to go find tinsel. I've got to like introduce my kids to what the concept of tinsel. Totally tinsel, totally jammed up the vacuum after Christmas. Yeah, like that's what I remember. I remember tinsel just being like a hot mess. White lights or colored lights? What do you put on your tree? Is it white lights or is it colored lights? I'm a white light guy. I like my tree. And if you go to either my post in the clubhouse or on my profile on Facebook, I asked you to share a picture of your tree. By the way, some of you have spectacular trees, by the way. I love the simplicity of not a ton of ornaments, not a lot of like garland. I've had to sort of bring some other people in the family around to the idea, like not a lot of stuff on the tree, fewer ornaments. I don't do the garland. Like I want it to be very simple, very bright, very elegant. So are you white lights or are you colored lights on your tree? I like the white, although I have a fake tree and you can sort of change. It's a pre-lit, so you can kind of change all the colors with the little foot pedal. So fancy. Sherry says, I have an aluminum tree. I see. I just don't realize that these things even still exist. No tinsel with the cats. You can't use tinsel. I know the kitties just get into everything. A mix of both. A lot of white lights. Whites. All Christmas cookies can be dipped in coffee. That's true.
I didn't find a group or device named both Lotto White Lights.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't want to say your name, but shh. Bubble lights. Wow. See, these are things I didn't even realize like still even existed. My kids like the colored lights, white and colored. I know some of you have multiple trees in your house. I think somebody had 7 or 8 trees in their houses, which is like mazel tov to you. Like I think that's awesome. Like I don't have the room for it, let alone the ability to put that many. I love it. 12 out of 12. Wait, 12 out of 12? Tracy, you have 12 trees? How did I miss that picture? 1,800 lights on the tree this year and only real tree. Jennifer Subko, I need to see a picture of your tree because not only am I fascinated I'm curious as to how big that tree really is and how you know that there's 1,800 lights on there. That's amazing. Tasty says we have 12 trees. Wow, that's awesome. I have 3. I thought that was a lot. I have a Disney Marvel tree in my bedroom and a buffalo plaid tree. Yeah. So we did real trees for a number of years. I love the smell of a real tree, but this year we've had a fake tree for a couple of years. I don't really like saying fake tree. We just have a tree that we can reuse every year. Let's see. Do you open your presents on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? This is like a subject of much debate. Like I've had people say to me, like, what do you mean you people open them on Christmas Eve? Like you can't. Like Christmas Eve is Christmas Eve. Like you have to wait till Christmas Day. But I explained the midnight thing. And Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and do you go to Mass on Christmas Eve? Like I don't, and I hate the fact that I don't because I've wanted to for years. But because we have people over, like it's hard to be like, okay, we need to stop and everybody's got to go to Mass now. And I know it's more just me than everybody else, but so what we would sometimes do is like we would do the kids at night and then adults during the day, or we would have friends over during the day and would exchange and play Christmas games. Like, do you guys do any Christmas? You play Christmas games, and when we have friends over, we do like the like the oven mitt game, and we would do like a white elephant game with a bunch of friends, which is always a lot of fun. We go to Christmas Eve service and open presents on Christmas morning. Yeah, see, if we go for Christmas Eve, then we can't do presents because it'll be like 2:00 in the morning by the time we get back. I'm struggling with this conundrum. Christmas Day, a reindeer food fight. What is that? What's a reindeer food fight? I love the oven mitt game because I go to town and I try and see like just how complicated I could make the opening process. Although one year, somehow, was it Christmas or New Year's? I don't judge me. Playing Cards Against Humanity with your family, sitting next to your mom. I think it was probably New Year's Eve, probably not Christmas. New Year's Eve, incredibly awkward. So sorry. They made me do it, Mom. That is not a normal reindeer game. So Beth Strickland, the oven mitt game is the host takes a present. It could be anything from a gift card to an actual item and wraps it in a series of different boxes, taping them up, putting saran wrap on them, doing all these different things, wrapping with wrapping paper, however it is you want to do it. And then you gather everybody around the table and you have 2 oven mitts, a Santa hat, and 2 die. And the first person that goes has to put on the oven mitts and the hat and has to try and open up the present. And the first one to open it and get what's inside gets to keep it. The person to the left is rolling the die, and as soon as they get doubles, they take off the hat, they take the oven mitts, and then it's their turn. And then you keep on going around, and I would do like layer upon layer. I would do one for the adults and one for the kids, and it was always a lot of fun. And one of my favorite things to do. We've probably been doing it for, I don't know, 5-7 years, something like that. So I'll do a small one with my brother and this year. And we do the white elephant too. We do a white elephant exchange. So we played Card Against Humanity with my 80-year-old. Yeah, 80-year-old former Girl Scout leader. Yeah, it can be there's a Disney version and there's an Avengers version. Not family friendly, to be clear. I'm just going to leave that there. It is not a family friendly. Family bingo, $1. Oh, that's cool. I would love to do that. Family bingo, $1 per card. Mass on Christmas Eve, presents on Christmas morning. Presents cannot be under the tree or open until Christmas morning. Yeah, we would save. So normally what we would do is we would save presents for the kid. No, that's what we would do. we would do extended family at night. And then, like, if we went to somebody's house, like when we lived up in New Jersey, we would do at our house in the morning. We'd get up early. The kids would open up presents that we give them, and then we sort of open up our immediate family presents ourselves rather than sort of taking them wherever. Things change as, we're down here and people coming over, but Disney Avengers Cards Against Humanity. There's a family version called Kids Against Maturity. I would see, but now I'm having a very tough time dealing with the fact that my daughter's 18 and my son is 16, but I digress. So, that's fascinating. I love hearing about traditions and memories and people and things that you do and some of the different ways. I love hearing about different ways, different people and cultures celebrate what you do, who you do it with, and the things that are important to you. Like Jennifer says, a 40-year tradition, we get one present on Christmas Eve, matching pajamas. Yeah, so we do that too. Everybody's not getting the Spider-Man sweatshirt this year, but we always do pajamas and stuff like that. Stockings in the morning, Christmas gifts after dinner. Kids Against Maturity is I'll have to look at that. So we don't open presents until Christmas night around 6 p.m. Started that years ago. After dinner, Christmas jammies. Open presents one by one. Makes Christmas last all day. Yeah. We try and save a couple of things for Christmas. And then, like I said, usually we would have friends come over. So, but all right, let's, I said I was going back to my roots a little bit. And I thought, because I started this whole Disney thing by writing a trivia book. So I thought we would do a little Christmas trivia. Not all Disney, but we're going to do a little bit of Christmas trivia. It could be about Christmas itself. It might be about movies. It might be about music. I want you to play without the Googles. Try and do this if you can without the Googles. Because some of these you'll have to just it, but you have to just think about it. So, for example, if I asked you to tell me how many ghosts show up in A Christmas Carol, what's the answer? So whatever version of A Christmas Carol, whether it be a Muppet Christmas Carol, a George C. Scott Christmas Carol, what was the other one I just saw? Whoever and whatever your Christmas Carol is. It is not 3. It is not 3. Some of you have it. It is not 6. It's 4, right? Because those of you who said 3, you're thinking about the Ghost of Christmas Past, present, and yet to come, but you forgot about Jacob Marley. It's the very first ghost that confronts Scrooge. So there's 4, a total of 4. All right, easy one, easy current. In Home Alone, where are the McCallisters going on vacation when they leave Kevin behind? Where are they going when they leave Kevin behind? And if you watch it again, I love the direction and the cinematography and just how subtly, but they make it a point of looking in the garbage and how Kevin's ticket to Paris gets dumped in there completely by accident. What's the name? All right, we're going to stick with Home Alone because I love the movie and I love this actor. What is the name of the traveling polka band that Kevin's mother meets at the airport and gives them a ride to, they were going to Milwaukee or something. What is the name of the band? The actor's John Candy. Gus Polinski. Polka. What is the name of the band? Kate Wallace. It's the Kenosha Kickers. Very good. Do you know John Candy did it? He did that role in one day, and I think he was paid $413. It was some weird number, $413. He did it as a favor, and he improvised most of his lines. I love John Candy. I cried when he died. Polka, polka, polka. I love John Candy like so very much. In Home Alone, how many siblings does Kevin have? This one's a little tricky because it's a huge family, but remember, it's the uncle, it's the aunt, it's the cousins, or whatever. How many siblings does Kevin have in Home Alone? My husband worked with Buzz from Home Alone. 2, 3, 11, 5, 4, all over the place. 2, 2, 5, 1, 2, sister and a brother. 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. You've pretty much covered everything between, it's actually 4. He's got 4. He's got Buzz. His little brother is Kenny, who's actually Macaulay Culkin's younger brother, and 2 others whose names I can't remember. A few of you mentioned A Christmas Story. It's Italian. It's Fragile. It must be Italian. A few have mentioned A Christmas Story as your favorite Christmas movie. What is Ralphie's little brother's name in A Christmas Story? And who of you has giant pink bunny footy pajamas? I'm not raising my hand because I don't. Nick Madron, The Great Outdoors is one of my favorite John Candy movies. It was just on the other day, too. Brittany, very good. Wow, that was fast. It's Randy. It's Randy. I had to think about that one. In what country was the tradition of putting up a Christmas tree started? The tradition of putting up a Christmas tree actually began in a single country. Which one was it? Pictures or it didn't happen. In what country did putting up a Christmas tree? Wow, you people are smart. God, you're smart. Or I'm sharing my screen. It's Germany. It is Germany. All right, let's go from movies to music. In the song Winter Wonderland, what do we call the snowman? You're singing it in your head. Sing the song Winter Wonderland in your head. What do we call the snowman? What do you call the snowman? What do we call the snowman in the song Winter Wonderland? Catherine Hill got a lot of it. It's Parson Brown. It's Parson Brown. And I didn't realize that parson is another word for clergyman. It's like a priest, a pastor, or whatever is a parson. So it's Parson Brown. I learned something new while preparing for just like this. You get a lot of useless knowledge that you can take along with you to impress or bore your friends to death. All right, let's go modern Christmas movie. In Elf, what is the first rule in the Code of Elves? There's a code that Buddy and his fellow elves have to stick to. What is the first rule for the Code of Elves in Elf? Elf is 2004? Parson used to be a traveling pastor back in the day. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought Parson was a formal name. Kate Wallace, treat every day like Christmas. Number 1 is treat. It is not. Don't talk. I mean, I'm sure that they don't talk about Fight Club, but it is treat every day like Christmas. And then you can sing loud for Alton. I haven't watched Elf yet. This Jon Favreau has just the Midas touch for everything that he does. I love him so very much. A few of you mentioned The Santa Claus as your favorite movie. I love The Santa Claus as well too, which although there's some sad scenes in there too, including when Scott Calvin burns Christmas dinner for him and his son. So where does Scott take Charlie after he burns his Christmas Eve dinner? Where do they go Where does Scott take Charlie? We're talking about Christmas Eve traditions. Where does Scott take Charlie after he burns his Christmas dinner? They go to Denny's, along with all the other. I think it was just all other divorced dads and like one older couple in Denny's. Everybody else was out getting Chinese food. Wow, you guys are really good. Like, really, really. I'm gonna have to start making these a little bit harder. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gives to me what? What does my true love give to me on the 8th day of Christmas? Which is exactly what I'm sure is on everybody's Christmas list. It's a very bizarre song when you think about what some of the presents are. What does my true love give to me on the 8th day of Christmas? Yeah, 8 maids a milking. Like my kids are, for 18 years I've been forwarding Christmas lists on to Santa. Nobody ever was like, Dad, I need a few maids a milking. I don't even know what maids a milking is. Wait, is anybody old enough to remember having a milkman? Like when I was a kid, we had a milkman, and we actually had a milk door in our house. Again, I lived in a very old Victorian house that there was actually a side door, this tiny little door that there was a door on the outside, a door on the inside. The milkman would open it up, put the milk in there, it was like a metal lined box, close it, and then we would open up the inside and then take the milk bottles out that were covered in tinfoil. Like they were literally bottles that were covered in tinfoil, and then when they were empty, you put them. Whatever. Nobody cares. I know you don't care. This is me just sort of having these senior moments of memories. Yeah, we had a milk tin. Yeah, we had the old milk box. I wish I had more pictures of my house. We're in my great grandparents, and you still have a milk door. Tweet. I'd love to see a picture of that. Like I can see it. I can see right by my back door. It was in the kitchen. The door was actually in the kitchen that went to a side door outside. So, what is the name of Buddy's half brother in Elf? I'm in a store and I'm singing, but what is the name of Buddy's half brother? By the way, I love Jimmy Caan, not just for his work in Godfather, but also for his work in Elf. Holly Robinson got it. It's Michael. Buddy's half brother's name is Michael. Chocolate milk delivery. Did they deliver chocolate milk? Yep, it's Michael. Wow, you guys are really, really good. What are the 4 main food groups? What are the 4 main food groups? I'm still in elf mode, by the way. What are the 4 main food groups? I used to call white milk vanilla milk. What are the 4 main food groups? Some of you are close. All right, some of you are getting it right. So it's candy, candy corn, candy canes, and syrup. If you mix them all together with a little bit of pasta, that's nice. It's a nice little breakfast treat. This one comes as a shock. What is the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time? Don't say Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm talking specifically a Christmas movie. So don't try and weasel in some of these things that just like Trading Places because it happens over Christmas. Like what is the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time? The answers that you are giving are the ones exactly that I would have thought. And so far, almost all of them are incorrect. Nope. Right, you would think It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, Elf. For a long time, it was Home Alone. And now it's the Grinch. It's the 2018 Grinch. $512 million, not necessarily accurate to today. I could not believe it either. I checked it from Ask Jeeves and Excite.com, so I know my information is accurate. Somebody look on Bing, research department, get on Bing, just validate that that actually is true. It's the Grinch. The department says it is still, in fact, the Grinch. Bizarre. I don't get it. I don't get it either. So we talked about the 8th day of Christmas. We thankfully get 8 maids of milking. If you add them all up, how many gifts total are given in the 12 days of Christmas? For all you kids who said math was not important, it's not, but here it actually will pay dividends. How many gifts total are given in the 12 days of Christmas song? $365. Brittany, you got it right. It's 364. It is 364 gifts. Too many. somebody complaining that I'm asking math questions. I promise there will be no more math. There will be no more math. However, in Christmas Vacation, another classic movie, instead of getting a cash or check bonus, what does Clark Griswold's boss, who happens to be Bill Murray's brother, what does he give him as a Christmas bonus? I will give you a hint. Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving all year long. That it does, Eddie. That it does. It is not a fruit pie. It is a membership in the Jelly of the Month Club. Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving all year long. And according to the hat that Clark is wearing while he is hanging his Christmas lights, let's see a way to pay attention to the details. What sports team is Clark Griswold a huge fan of? According to the hat he is wearing while he is hanging Christmas lights and welcoming or not welcoming his family to his home, what sports team is Clark Griswold a fan of? Kira, you are correct. It is the Bears. The Bears. And I can't say anything about the Bears because I'm a Giants fan, and we'll leave it at that. A few of you also mentioned the Grinch, the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch. And when Jim Carrey was preparing for that role, what actor's accent did he model and mimic the Grinch's accent and manner of speaking off of? He looked specifically to one actor and modeled and mimicked this accent and way of talking for the Grinch voice. Who did Jim Carrey use as inspiration, or did he base the Grinch's voice off of? You are correct. It is in fact one. I almost did a really bad Sean Connery impression, but I won't because you don't want to hear that as well. All right, we'll go backwards. Let's go back to some older movies. What is the name of George Bailey's guardian angel in It's a Wonderful Life? No, Kevin Shea. It is not Pee Wee Herman. It is not Pee Wee Herman. But as a side note, I cannot wait to see the Marvel Legends figures that come out for No Way Home. Anyway, what is the name of George Bailey's guardian angel in It's a Wonderful Life? Do you know his full name? Clarence is correct. What's his last name? What is Clarence's last name? He says it. He says it when he introduces himself, right before what's his face falls over in his chair when he announces he's a guardian angel. Brittany, you got it right. Clarence Oddbody. Very good. Wow, I love it. I love when we drill down like deep, and some of you are getting the this is, all right, here's an easy one. What's the name of George Bailey's daughter? What is the name of George Bailey's daughter? What is the name of George Bailey's daughter in It's a Wonderful Life? Oh, you know what? I had Christmas music that was supposed to be playing in the background, and I completely forgot. It doesn't even matter. Zuzu is right. What's Zuzu's last name? What is Zuzu's last name? What is Zuzu's last name? Zuzu Pedals. Zuzu's Pedals. There you go. What? We'll stay in It's a Wonderful Life because you guys seem to know this. What book does George get from Clarence in It's a Wonderful Life? Clarence gives him a book. Clarence Oddbody gives George Bailey a book as a gift in It's a Wonderful Life. What is the name of the book he receives? John Antonides, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Catherine Wong got it right. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Very good. Very good. One of my favorite Christmas traditions and things that I love are the Rankin Bass holiday specials that used to play on CBS like the weeks before Christmas, and now you can, they still play them every year. I loved the music. I love the simple stop motion technology that was used. In Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which came out in 1964, what is the name of Rudolph's little elf friend? What is the name of Rudolph's friend, the little elf friend in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? It is not Zuzu Pedals. What is the name of... I think, Kate, you had it right. Well, all of you have it right. It's Hermie. It's Hermie. He wants to be a dentist. A switch from movies and TV to music. What popular Christmas song was originally written as a Thanksgiving song? The song was originally written to be celebrated and sung on and for Thanksgiving. What popular and famous Christmas song, I know you know it, and it's not Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, but what popular Christmas song was originally written? God, you people, I can't, you know what? Somebody go back to the research department, which is me, and write harder questions. It is, in fact, Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells was written as a, it was originally written, the original title was One Horse Open Sleigh. And it was written, I think, in like 1858 as a song for Thanksgiving. And there you go. Let's see. In A Christmas Story, Ralphie has his little super secret. Who remembers buying cereal or begging your mom to buy cereal, not for the super sugar crisp or super sugar smacks or whatever super sugary Christmas cereal it was, but because of what was inside? Like the secret decoder rings. What was the message that Ralphie finally decodes from his decoder ring and the radio show, the Little Orphan Annie radio show? What ultimately is the message that he decodes? I'll give you a hint. He was a little let down. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Some Vol milk? Nothing. Thank you. Ovaltine. God, I love Young Frankenstein so very much. I need to do like a retro podcast. Maybe that's what I need to do. I've been saying it for years. I have time for all this. Who am I kidding? What are the names of the bullies that just terrorize poor Ralphie in A Christmas Story? What are the names of the bullies that terrorize Ralphie in A Christmas Story? Young Frankenstein is the best. Scud Farkus and what is the name of the other? Scud Farkus is one. Here's the tricky part. What is the other bully's name? Farkus and his little toady friend. Brittany got it. It's Grover Dill. Brittany, I have a feeling that you are the person to go to like trivia night at the local pub with, because you seem to have or just an insane amount of knowledge of Christmas trivia. What is the name of the department store that has the item that Ralphie so desperately wants for Christmas? What is the name? Bully number 2. What is the name of the department store that has the Red Ryder BB gun that Ralphie so desperately wants for Christmas? And if you're Googling, it's fine. Just say that you're Googling. It's not Macy's. I mean, Brittany got it right first, but I'm trying to give somebody else a chance to answer. It's Jeff is right. Mary got it right. It's Higbee's department store. There was no Amazon Prime, Jeff C. Surprisingly, there was no Amazon Prime. Has anybody seen Christmas with the Cranks with oh my God, Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis? I'm like, Halloween. In Christmas with the Cranks, they decide that they're going to break tradition because their daughter was going to be away, right? So they're going to forego their Christmas traditions. Where was the daughter? That I'll be very impressed if anybody gets this. The daughter went away after Thanksgiving, which is why they weren't going to have Christmas at home. And then she decides to come back the day before. Hilarity ensues. What country did the daughter go to right after Thanksgiving? Which is why they were not going to have Christmas with the Cranks. Wow, Tina Cairo, you got that way too fast. Way too fast. It's Peru. And then she brings back her, hunky little Peruvian friend. Marion, don't even think about it. Let's just, any part of that sentence is not going to happen. Okay. None of you mentioned Ernest Saves Christmas as one of your favorite Christmas movies. You remember Ernest P. Worrell, Jim Varney, may you rest in peace. And the film opens with Santa Claus on a plane landing in what city? Never say hickory honey ham again. Um, my family's not even here, Tina. It's just me talking to an empty door. Um, where in Ernest Saves Christmas, it opens with Santa Claus on a plane. Where is the plane landing? Which actually makes a lot of sense, and I'll tell you why. It is not Chicago. It is not LA. The correct answers are coming in. It's Orlando, which is why the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin is Santa's favorite resort. Free plug there just for giggles. So, and a lot of us agree, Kelly, Emmett Drug Band Christmas is um, one of our favorites. I think I gave this one away before. Who has ever seen Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas? Right, let's turn to a little Disney as we start to round out trivia. Um, in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, who narrates the movie? Who narrates Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas? Who narrates Once Upon a Christmas? You watched it yesterday, Amanda, so you should know that the narrator is. I mean, yes, Mike, that's not his real name. Nope, it is not Jiminy Cricket. So it seems like a lot of you. So, but you do you not remember? Not Jiminy Cricket, not Mr. Bean. Yes, it is Kelsey Grammer. It is Kelsey Grammer, aka Mr. Fraser Crane. Um, let's go to the parks. Name 3 attractions in Walt Disney World that get a holiday overlay. Name 3 attractions in Walt Disney World that get a holiday overlay. You have to think hard on this one because the first 2 should be easy. The third one is tricky. What 3 attractions get a holiday overlay in Walt Disney World? The Jingle Cruise is right. Amber Bramble comes in with Living with the Land. What is the third one? The Jingle Cruise, Living with the Land, which is beautiful this year, by the way. What is the third one? I don't say Figment because it's just a sweater. I mean, I'll count it. So, all right, what's the fourth one? I mean, I didn't really call it an overlay. It's a sweater. It's not. Nope. It's not. Nope. Yeah, I wasn't counting Figment sweater, but I'll take it. Space doesn't have one this year. And I think it's a bit of a trick question because I think it might only be during the parties. I don't know what happens this year, but the Tomorrowland Speedway had a Christmas overlay and they put Christmas ornaments. Remember, they put Christmas ornaments throughout the track that lit up late at night. And yes, they did for a while. There was the Country Bear Christmas vacation. What was it? Christmas vacation hoedown. The Christmas something. Um, no, that one's too hard. That one's too hard. In the Disney featurette, um, yeah, I know, and I don't know if they did that. It's a bit of a trick question because I don't know if they even did it this year. But I thought it was a really cool surprise. In the in Mickey's Christmas Carol, what Disney character played Fezziwig? In Mickey's Christmas Carol, you guys are getting all the easy ones. I have to pull out some harder. In Mickey's Christmas Carol, What character played Fezziwig? He played the role of Fezziwig. And there's actually a scene where this character he's playing a like a fiddle or a violin. You know what? You guys are way too good at this. It's Mr. Toad. It's J. Thaddeus Toad, Esquire. Let's see. Okay. So you brought up the Country Bear Christmas special vacation festivity hoedown show. I think it was just the Country Bear Christmas something. What was Big Al dressed as in the Country Bear Christmas special? Christmas, whatever. Christmas special. Yeah. What was Big Al dressed as? Not Santa. He was not Santa Claus. He was not a Christmas tree. It has been a while. I'm trying to think of what year that stopped. Caleb Joshua Hill comes in with Baby New Year, which was going to be my Halloween costume this year, but fortunately it didn't arrive. Yeah, Big Al was Baby New Year. Big Al was Baby New Year. So some of these are really hard. Some of the things are really, really, really hard. Do I have any other ones? This isn't a trivia question. Do you remember at Disney MGM Studios, do you remember the giant water tower, the Earful Tower, that they used to put a giant Santa hat on during the holidays? And at one point, when I think it was when the Orlando Magic first started, or maybe a couple of years after the Orlando Magic first started, I think one year they put, well, there was one of the players, I think it was Horace Grant, had these like prescription goggles, and they put like the Horace Grant prescription goggles on the Earful Tower, like to celebrate the Orlando Magic. It was very bizarre. But that water tower isn't even there anymore. Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? The very first text message ever sent said Merry Christmas. Fact or fiction? The very first text message ever sent was Merry Christmas. It's fact. It's true. The very first official text message ever sent was Merry Christmas. It's true. It's true. If you know what that movie is from, then since I only quote like 4 movies total, oh, it's true. It's true. Madeline Kahn was a comedic genius. Anyway, it's 9:15. I've got to bounce in a couple of minutes because I need to move over. Again, I don't know what their plans are, but we can maybe hijack a little bit of their show. It's called The Magical Lifestyle. It's over on the YouTubes. I'm going to be popping over there about 9:30 or so. But before we do, and before we wrap up, I had so much fun today. I had so much fun with you tonight in this virtual Christmas party. This is what Christmas is about. This is what the holidays are about, is getting together with friends and just having fun and reminiscing and sharing stories. I wish we were able to sort of do this together. I know logistically it can't happen, but this is sort of the next best thing. And I sincerely, sincerely appreciate you indulging me tonight and having some fun and sharing some of your personal memories and some of, I don't even want the recipes. Just feel free to send some of your Christmas delicacies and treats. I'll try anything once. So, but I do want to say, and I mean this sincerely, just that you and your friendship and your attention and your love and your support and your sharing and rating and reviews and kind messages and just activity in the clubhouse and just the way you are and the community that you have created is the greatest gift. And like Cousin Eddie says, it literally is the gift that keeps on giving all year long, Clark. You do. You give me a gift every single day, and it is very important to me that you know just how much I'm aware of that, and I'm sensitive to it and appreciate it, and I am grateful for that gift every day. I don't need anything for Christmas because I have this, and I know it sounds stupid and whatever, but I mean it sincerely. I love and appreciate you so very much, and I'm grateful to you and for the gifts that you give. I hope that you and your family have a very Merry Christmas. I hope you had a nice Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope that you are able to celebrate it with and surrounded by those that you love and those that love you in return. And know that at the very least, you've got one guy sitting here in Orlando that even though I may not have met you yet, I promise you that I love you and that I appreciate you so very much. And thank you again for the gift that you give me of your friendship. It is more than I ever could have asked for. So thank you for that. I want to see more pictures in the clubhouse of your Christmas sweater, your Christmas dinner, your Christmas presents, your videos of the gifts that you're giving or the gifts that you're receiving, so that we can all share that together, even though we might not be in the same house because I just don't have enough room downstairs for you all. But like I said, I'm going to bounce over to that other show at 9:30. And if I don't see you there, have a wonderful holiday. And I look forward to seeing you again next week for, if I'm doing the math right, our final show of the year, maybe a little Spider-Man No Way Home conversation. So thank you again. Have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. So until next time, see ya.